If growth in the EV market is any indicator, renewable energy could reshape the global economy as the world moves from oil to battery solutions. One of those companies is FREYR, which is a Norwegian-based firm that's focusing on battery cell technology. Now, FREYR stock saw a 29% gain in March, and its relative strength line is trending near all-time highs. I recently spoke with Tom Jensen, the CEO of FREYR Battery, to discuss how their technology sets them apart from the rest of the competition and the strategies they're implementing to scale up in the growing renewable energy market. Take a look. Getting a little bit into the battery technology, because I've heard you say you want to be the greenest battery out there. Can you talk a little bit about what that means and the technology that you're implementing that is setting you apart from the competition?
Sure. So as you might know, producing a battery is quite energy intensive, not only in the production of the battery itself, but also the raw materials that go into it. The processing of anode material and cathode material, which are the two main components in a battery, is extremely energy intensive. And today, most of these materials are produced in Asia in general and in China in particular. And the energy being used for not only the materials going into the battery, but also the battery production itself is predominantly fossil-based. Mm-hmm. So that means that the carbon footprint of the production of the battery is today already quite high. So we aim to produce these batteries in environments where there is renewable energy. We aim to bring the raw material production and the active material processing into the same sort of green energy mix. And just by doing that, we can reduce the CO2 footprint in the production of batteries by 80% or more. And that, of course, is a massive improvement in the footprint on a life cycle basis of the batteries you produce. Another reason why we think we will be able to do so is because we are taking to gigawatt hour scale, let's say, the largest scale that batteries are produced at today, using a US-based technology. So we actually did a quite significant and comprehensive technology selection process. Took us 18 months to basically find the best solution out there. And that was a US-based technology. It's an MIT spin-off founded by a renowned material science professor at MIT. His name is Yet-Ming Chang. It's a company called 24M. And basically what 24M has done, Alexis, is they've looked at how do you design the battery and how, not least, how do you produce it? Because batteries or lithium-ion batteries were originally intended to be put into laptops and camcorders and handheld devices. And then we've scaled that because most people now have a computer and a handheld device of some sort. So there are many production sites around the world that are using that same technology that was introduced 30 years ago. But the batteries themselves are still at the same size and configuration, roughly speaking, as they were 30 years ago, but not for the intended use that it's now being deployed for. So that's kind of what they set out to do. So basically, they're producing a battery which can be a lot bigger and a lot thicker, which means that you have a lot less cost in how you actually produce it, and the system level cost when you implement it into the to the vehicle or into the container. And the production process is also dramatically simplified. So to put it sort of simply, in a conventional lithium-ion battery facility, you have 17 production steps on average. And in this production process, we have 5. So that means, of course, that it's much smaller, it's cheaper to build, it uses less energy, we need less people, it's easier to ramp up and scale, it's safer, and it's easier to recycle. So it's one of those Homo sapiens figures out how to do things better. And when we figure out how to do things better, we can scale it faster. And therefore, we're sort of getting onto this positive momentum curve, if you like.
I want to get into the scalability, but I mean, why this all sounds terrific. And why do you think it's taken maybe so long for, as you said, Homo sapiens figure it out? Is it just the demand has finally reached that tipping point where it is worth it pursuing this?
I think there are a number of factors that sort of play into this. So one, there is, of course, a general increased recognition that we need to generate energy and we need to transport people and goods around the planet in a more sustainable way? Well, we're getting to thresholds which are starting to become quite dangerous. So therefore, we're aware of the need for doing things in a different manner. So I think that kind of awareness is one thing. The second, and maybe more important thing, is it takes time to develop technology, and it takes time to develop solutions that can actually be taken to scale. And third, I think now capital is being made increasingly available for the energy transition. And when you have these three things and other sort of components coming together at once, that's kind of when you're seeing this acceleration. And then, of course, you shouldn't discount either that there are new products coming on the market, like Tesla vehicles, etc., which are actually showing to the world that there is such a thing as a sustainable, cool solution, and they're actually better than the conventional combustion engines. And now I think it's not a question of whether, it's only a question of when the entire planet runs on electric vehicles. Of course, there are different opinions on how fast that transition will go, but I think systematically we're underestimating the rate of change, because we come from a world which is kind of moving in a certain sort of tempo, if you like, but now with all of these I would say mutually reinforcing forces coming together at once, you're seeing that this is taking off much harder and faster than most people thought. So new startup companies are requiring more batteries, new energy systems that need to be decarbonized, require more storage, and so on and so forth. And more of these, let's call it electricity-driven applications, like cars and boats and drones and whatever it might be, does also require more renewable energy to be put into the system, which again requires more batteries, right? So it's in this super cycle, if you like, when it comes to the battery. So we believe the decade or decades in front of us will be the decades of the battery, and the new oil is kind of a good way to describe it. We're happy to be part of that transition and hope to sort of showcase to the world that leveraging what we know how to do in Norway, which is basically to build and export energy and energy intensive products, and combining that with, let's call it, the excellence and capabilities of the US society, that is a very strong combination that can really sort of generate a lot of momentum.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more videos like this, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. We'll see you next time.